Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am here to talk about spirit boxes. And why am I here to talk about spirit boxes? Well, it's because I'm paranormal. That's why I'm here to talk about spirit boxes. Can everybody hear me okay? If you can hear me okay, let me know. I know that my sound is good because I really need to make a point. When it comes to the paranormal, I have had a lot of experience with the paranormal. I think I know what I'm talking about. I have been dealing with the paranormal for over 42 years. And like I said before, this was not something that I came looking for. This was not something that I paid money for. Trying to move around a little bit. Hopefully it's not too loud. It is just something that happened. So I'm going to wait and see. Hopefully some people will join me here this morning and we can discuss this just a little bit. And I've been seeing a lot that to me is very, very upsetting. It's very disheartening. And I want to address it. I'm seeing creators that are going out searching for a missing person. In some cases, a child. And they are now using spirit boxes. And this is an active, ongoing, open investigation. This is not a cold case. Now, do I have an objection to possibly going in on a cold case and there's not been any activity on the case for years and someone is looking for answers? Do I have an objection to trying to help the family and loved ones find an answer? In my opinion, and this is my opinion, that would be a hard decision to make, because regardless of whether it's an active, open investigation or if it's a cold case, anytime that it comes to a missing person, or even in homicide cases, these are tragedies, and people need to realize and remember that these are tragedies. This is real life. This is real people that are missing. This is real families that are going through a tragedy. This is real loved ones that are going through a tragedy. And I just have to ask, with all the things I've been seeing on YouTube, different platforms, what happened to respect when it comes to the family and loved ones of a missing person? What happened to allowing the victim to have their rights protected? If you're in this for clicks and views and you've ran completely out of content, so you're going to go out in the woods and you're going to get a spirit box and you're going to be looking for someone that's missing in an active, open investigation. In my opinion, and this is my personal opinion, are you taking away the hope that this family has? Because you're out there in the woods walking around with a spirit box, talking to a spirit, and hopefully you're not implying that this spirit is this missing person or missing child, because that's even more disturbing, in my opinion. If you've ever really experience the paranormal, I don't think you'd be taking it so lightly. I can say this from personal experience. Do I take the paranormal lightly? Absolutely not. Do I think that the paranormal is fake, that you can go out and mess with spirits and mess with entities and there's no repercussion for that? Absolutely not. I'm telling you, absolutely not. If you do not know what you're dealing with, then you do not need to be dealing in the paranormal at all. It is not fake. And if these people that are going out here using spirit boxes and saying that they're speaking to spirits, and some of them are even on their platform stating that there's spirits in their room and they're communicating with them. If you have ever in your lifetime experienced the real paranormal and a spirit, you wouldn't be on a live stating that you were in a room talking to a spirit unless you know what you were doing. Have I encountered the paranormal? Yes, over and over for 42 long years. Again, did I go looking for the paranormal? I absolutely did not. A tragedy happened in my life, and it changed my life forever when I was 20 years old. That's why I created this channel. I'm getting older now. I am 62. And I'm hoping that the research that I have done on the paranormal for the last 42 years and the experiences that I have had, the questions that I needed answers for, I went out and I went through every possible, any possible way. I needed answers. Number one, what was happening around me? Why was it happening around me? It was terrifying. And when it first happened, I would talk to people around me and I would say, did you see that? Or did you hear that? Or did you sense that, smell that? No one around me could sense it, feel it, hear it, see it. So I needed answers. This had not been happening to me prior to my tragedy. My life changing tragedy. And in order for me to understand it, I went out and I researched it. I went to psychiatrists, and it was not easy for me to go in and try to explain to somebody what was happening to me. And then try to explain to them that prior to my tragedy, this had never happened. So I wanted answers. Is there life out there, spirits out there that we do not normally see, normally experience? Absolutely. I have found out through my research that many times, often, people that are experiencing the same thing that I am have went through a similar tragedy that I did. And this is not easy for me to discuss. But I'm doing this, I'm hoping to leave some record for someone like me that maybe will come along and say, I need answers to my questions. Why is this happening? Is this real? That's why I have my channel. When I was 20, I was rushed into emergency surgery. And I was hemorrhaging really bad. They lost me 2 times on the operating table, twice. The last time they didn't think they were going to get me back. I was 20 years old. I was young, a new mother, a wonderful husband. And I woke up from my surgery and my whole life changed. We only had one child and we had planned on having more children. So the first information that I got from my tragedy was that I was no longer going to be able or capable of having another child. They saved my life, but I would not be able to have another child. And then I was informed of how bad the surgery was and how hard the doctors and the staff worked to save my life. And it was months went by when I started noticing little changes around me, just little subtle changes. And then they became more drastic. And I didn't understand what was happening to me, why it was happening to me. And at 20, and this was 42 years ago, there wasn't a whole lot out there about the paranormal. There wasn't a whole lot of answers to questions like I had. You know, is this real? Is did I go through, did my brain go through a period of time that was too long, deprived of oxygen? So I went into a psychologist. They did tests on my brain to make sure that everything was functioning okay, that I did not have any type of brain injury due to the time that I was down and my brain was deprived of oxygen. That day, that surgery changed my life. And for, like I said, for several years, I hid it. I didn't want to talk about it because no one else around me was experiencing what I was experiencing. And when I would try to tell them what was happening to me, around me, they didn't understand. Now, did a spirit walk in my room and say, hey, Tammy, I want to talk to you? No, that didn't happen. That's not what happened. First, I started noticing little things. Out of the corner of my eye, I might see something, but wasn't sure what it was. Almost like a shadow, a movement. And it was enough to catch your attention, and you would look and there was nothing there. And then I started sensing things like I was being watched or there was something there I didn't understand, because none of this was familiar to me. None of it. It was very frightening. It was absolutely horrifying. It was terrifying. The paranormal is terrifying. If you really know what the paranormal is, it is terrifying. So I'm going to be here for a little bit. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to give my opinion of what I think about what I'm seeing on some platforms. And whenever they're bringing in spirit boxes and talking to spirits, then as far as I'm concerned, they have opened the door for me to talk about it, give my opinion, hopefully give them some advice that I hope they take, because I'm not sending this out in any way. I mean, no hate. This channel is not about hate. It's about teaching, learning, discussing, finding answers for questions that you have and that others have. And through my research, I hope that I will be able to help others that have the same questions that I had. So, get yourself some coffee. Coffee, always a good idea. This is an adult channel. I drink coffee and I smoke cigarettes. So, if that's going to be offensive, you might want to get up and shuffle out of the room, because this is a real channel that talks about real life changing experiences with the paranormal. And like I said, I smoke cigarettes. Someone smoke. If that bothers you, please shuffle out of the room. You might not want to watch my channel. I'm talking reality. I am talking about life changing, horrifying experiences. And to see people taking it so lightly and playing with spirit boxes and using phone apps, it breaks my heart, because I honestly do not know if they have any idea that they could be opening a door that they can never, ever close. And it can be done so innocently, just through experimenting with something. And so many times, whenever I hear people talk that need help because there's something now happening in their home, in their life, 9 times out of 10, they innocently, in most cases, opened a door. They didn't intentionally do it. They didn't think there would be any harm in it. And then when they need answers, they reach out to someone that can try to help them find those answers. That's why I'm here. I'm just one person with a very small channel. But if it reaches one person that needs answers to your question, then my channel has done what I wanted it to do. I don't want to get to the point where I am too old to be able to bring forth information that I've gathered through research. It is, in my opinion, the paranormal is not an easy subject. If you can come on and discuss the paranormal and not feel that it is a hard subject, then maybe you have not had some major life-changing paranormal experiences. Because if you have, you would understand how hard it is to truly, truly discuss the paranormal. What it is, what can happen, why it happens. Do I have all the answers? Absolutely not. Do I look for answers every day? Yes, I do. Every day I research. Every day I try to use different equipment to help me find answers. This is my nightmare that I have lived for 42 years. It is a nightmare that you do not want. It's very challenging. It's it's hard to explain, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try and do my best. And I hope that if there's one person out there that my message reaches, that it will help to answer your questions. Then all of my research, all of my time and effort of my life challenges dealing with the paranormal, and now me sharing what I can and hopefully helping you. That's what it's all about. My channel is here to help people. Again, like I said, if you just come in, I smoke. This is an adult channel. Please join in the chat. If you have questions, I will try to answer them to the best of my knowledge and my research. I am not going to sugarcoat things. This is an adult channel. This is not made for children. The paranormal is not made for children. We are adults in this channel, and I'm an adult. I drink coffee and I smoke cigarettes. So if that offends you, please shuffle out of the room. How did I know? I'll go back to what happened to me in my life. How did I know that something was different, something had changed? I would hear things almost like a whisper. It wasn't like somebody walked in the room and said, "Hey, Tammy, my name is XYZ, and I'm a spirit, and I'm here. I need help. Do you hear me?" That is not how it works. I would just notice there was like this whispering, and I would say to someone near me, "Did you hear that?" And they'd say, "What? That whisper? Did you hear that?" That's what first happened to me. And again, mine happened because of a life-changing tragedy. Had it not have been for a wonderful doctor, a wonderful staff, I would not be here. They fought very, very hard to save my life. And they did lose me twice on the operating table. And I'm so grateful for that, that they saved my life. But that tragedy changed my life forever, 42 years ago. And like I said, the paranormal don't just walk in and speak to you. Mine was very, very little things that I started noticing that I had never noticed before, like the little whispers. And I would look at my husband and say, "Did you hear that? Did I hear what? Did you hear that whispering?" No. Or like I said, I would see something maybe that would catch my attention out of the corner of my eye. It was like a movement, something. And then I started to notice that my senses were different. I could smell things that my husband could not smell. I could sense things that my husband couldn't sense. And I didn't understand what was wrong with me. And that's when I kept saying, "There's something wrong with me." And I would go back to my doctor and I would say, "What happened? What is wrong with me?" So This is real life. This is not fake. That's why my channel is called Real Paranormal Investigations. And when I see people, maybe innocently, not realizing that they're messing with the paranormal and that they could open this door that they cannot close, that's frightening to me. Could it be just using a spirit box? Absolutely. Could it be just using a app on your phone that you're out supposedly looking for spirits? Absolutely. Could it be done innocently? Absolutely. But when I'm seeing people using spirit boxes, out searching in an active missing persons case, a child, adult, I don't care what it is, or they're sitting in a room with a spirit box and they're saying that they're speaking to the person that's missing and that they're a spirit and they're in their room. That's why I'm here talking about it. So when you bring in spirit boxes and spirits and the paranormal, then I'm here to talk about it. Be careful what you're doing. Be very, very careful. Number one, if it's an active missing person investigation, there are family and loved ones who are holding out hope for this person to be found and brought home safe. And I personally would not want to be the person to take away that hope. Never. Because when you say you're out there with a spirit box and you're talking to a spirit, what are you saying to that family, to those loved ones? Think about it. The paranormal is real, people. And if you know what it is, you do not want it. You don't want it in your world. You do not want it in your life. You do not want it around you. If you really, honestly, truly knew what the paranormal was. You wouldn't want it. I didn't want it. I didn't go looking for it. I didn't ask for it. And heavens knows I would have never paid for it. It is a horror that I live with daily. A nightmare that I live with daily. Something that I've had to learn to live with, to accept. And then I went out and I researched. I wanted answers. Why? Why is this happening? Can I make it stop? Will it go away? I've had many people in my past, in the past 42 years, say this is a gift and you should use it. I don't feel that it's a gift. I feel it's a curse. To be able to know things or sense things or feel things or smell things that no one else can. You're the odd one out in the room, let me tell you. You were definitely the odd man out in the room. And if you do go someplace that is haunted, trust me, if you are the way I am, and if there is a spirit there, or there is anything there, it doesn't just have to be a spirit. It can be an entity, and there is a difference. There's a big difference. Is there good and evil in the paranormal? Absolutely. Will they try to fool you? Oh, yes, they will. They will come through as a child just to get you baited in, and they are not a child by any means. They are evil. They can harm you. They can cause you to become depressed. They can cause you to become isolated. They deprive you of sleep. And eventually you become oppressed. And if you do not seek help by that point, you can become possessed. This is real. It is not fake. By any means, it's not fake. And it is absolutely, positively nothing to play around with. Please be careful what you are doing, what doors you are opening. And if you are ready to do that, please accept the responsibility for doing so. You have to be responsible for opening that door. And if you do open a door that you cannot close, it's not fake. That's whenever you end up reaching out for help. Please understand what I'm trying to say. And to be using a spirit box in an open, active investigation of any missing person, in my opinion, that is so disrespectful. These families have just a little bit of hope that they're hanging on to. And trust me, I know. I've been through it. My granddaughter went missing several years back, and then my daughter just recently went missing the week going into Thanksgiving. So twice in my life, I've had a missing person in my life. And I have been in that position. I know what they're feeling. I know that how they're holding out hope. I won't take that hope from them. Absolutely not. Allow them to have that hope. Allow them to have that hope. Don't take that hope away from them. And if you're using spirit boxes and ghost apps, phone apps on an open investigation, I personally disapprove. That's my personal opinion. Again, I'm not sending out hate. I'm here to tell you what I have been through. Oh, my puppy is having puppy dreams. So, you're going to hear a little whimpering in the background. But think about what I'm saying. And I'm sure if you do not understand what I'm saying, do your research. Speak to other paranormal investigators. Find out what you're opening yourself up to encounter by going into spirit boxes and talking to spirits. Now, I believe that there are different pieces of equipment that can be used in a proper investigation, in a controlled environment, if you're trying to help someone find answers. Absolutely. But it must be a proper investigation done in a controlled environment where there is absolutely no noise or any people, no traffic. None of this is interfering with your investigation. Was you sleep? Was he sleeping? I know. We heard you having puppy dreams. Yes, Rebel having puppy dreams. So, make sure that you have no noise contamination. Everything must be done in a controlled environment. You want down. This is Rebel. He's saying now I've got bedhead. I was sleeping. Make sure that you know what you're doing. If you're going to be using equipment, do your research on your equipment, because there is equipment that can properly be used in a paranormal investigation when you're trying to find answers. So, I'll give you just a little example. I'm trying to move around a little bit. I've got that light behind me. My husband got a phone call the other day, and a gentleman was remodeling his bathroom, and they were putting in new hot water tanks, but they had a problem. There were such high EMF readings, electromagnetic field, that they needed something that could read that range, so they would know when it was safe and when it was not safe. So my husband said, do you have your K2 meter? And my K2 meter is a standard piece of paranormal equipment. And it looks like this. So basically, if they are looking for the electromagnetic field, and they want to know, is it in a safe range? My husband said, let me take your K2 meter, because he has been on investigations with me. He has been a certified electrician. He is not now, because he's now disabled. And he was a certified plumber. And he had his own business and built homes from the ground up for 30 years. So he knows all of the different equipment that he uses whenever he's installing electric or installing plumbing or anything like that. But he did not have a piece of equipment that would actually give him the electromagnetic field range. So he said, let me take your K2 meter, because I've been on investigations with you. I have experimented with it. It is very accurate. It is a very good piece of equipment. So basically, you just turn the button on, and you're going to have just a green light. Now there you're seeing a yellow light. Why? It's because I'm getting close to, see, there I'm close to my computer. So what's going to happen? If I get farther away, there's nothing. So the closer that you get to the field, you're going to have a reaction. Farther away you get, no reaction. Now, if I raise it above my head, of course it's going to pick up my ceiling fan. Now, even if my ceiling fan is off, and my husband was explaining this to me, it's still going, even if you are in a room and you're doing an investigation and you have this turned on, if there is a fan above your head, even if it's turned off, it still has a magnetic field. And it still will cause this piece of equipment to light up. Maybe not real high, but this can give you a false reading. So if you're going to actually go in to try to help somebody, please, please research your equipment. Know what you're getting into. Know how to use it. I like to get one piece of equipment at a time. And that way I can try it out, experiment with it. Is it actually doing what I purchased it to do? Is it going to be an accurate piece of equipment, or could it be faulty and give me a false positive? Now, I have been seeing people use nothing more than a cat ball. Let me see if I can get it where the light's not on it. And you'll see it's a motion activated cat ball. That's all it is. Plain and simple. This one's in the package. You turn it on and they will set it down. Let's see if I can get it where you can see it. Whoops, everything's backwards. Okay, but you're going to see this thing light up. Just a regular cat ball. Now, if it's just laying there and it starts lighting up, people are going to think, number one, something come up and touched it. Could something have come up and touched it? I'm not going to completely say no. However, I'm not just going to have this cat ball laying there. I'm going to have another piece of equipment that would have some type of battery, or not battery, some type of motion active. A good piece of equipment that I know I've used, I've tried. I know that it's accurate. And I'm going to have at least two pieces of equipment. Maybe this. I mean, if you're bored, yeah, get you a cat ball and set it there. But I want to have another piece of equipment next to this. Because this cat ball, I've noticed, and I've recorded, and that's, well, maybe we need to leave that light on. I've noticed and recorded in my research that this has randomly just gone off. And if the battery is going dead in this particular cat ball, it's just going to randomly light up. So that doesn't mean that just because this cat ball is turned on and it's lighting up, that does not mean that that something literally come up. And like I said, it says it is motion activated. And you will see a lot of people use them. Now, just because it lights up does not mean something come up and touched it and caused it to come on. Could it mean that maybe possibly this is a cat ball and maybe possibly it's just going to randomly light up? Absolutely. Now, can I put this piece of this cat ball in a room? And then, like I said, put another piece of equipment that I know is also motion activated. Put them side by side. And then put a video camera on the two pieces of equipment. And that way I will have my time stamp of when the cat ball lit up. And then next to it would be my other piece of equipment. Here's one that I really like. Let me get this real quick. Okay, so for instance, if I had this cat ball, I'm going to be turning on this piece of equipment next to it. Why am I going to be turning this piece of equipment on next to it? Because this piece of equipment is a 360 motion detection. So anything with anything all the way around 360 is going to cause this to activate. Now, all the way around the bottom, you're going to see these lights, and they're all the way around. So if I have this in the room, now I'm going to turn it on, so get ready for some music. So if you've got earbuds in, trigger warning, take them out. So this is going to give me sound and light. If something comes around this 360 and sets it off, this is also going to give me the light. There we go. It's going to light up. So if this piece of equipment is lighting up, and I'm seeing that on my camera, which is recording with a timestamp, then I know that this piece of equipment was activated by something triggering my 360 motion. And then if the cat ball is next to it as well, and both of these are going off at the same time, and they're on a timestamp, then I'm going to check my video, and I'm going to check the timestamp. I'm going to see if anyone possibly entered the room. I'm going to see if there's any shift or change in that room, meaning, could there have been wind? I'm going to try and debunk it in any way that I possibly can. That's what I'm trying to say. Just because it's showing that even on my camera, I'm going to try and debunk what caused both of these pieces of equipment to go off at the same time. And until I can completely debunk it, then how can I say that that was paranormal? Because what is the paranormal? What is the definition of paranormal? If you cannot scientifically explain it, and there is no other explanation for it, then it falls in the realm of paranormal. Something that you cannot explain. See if I can turn this a little bit because the sun's really coming in. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Sorry about the noise there. So what I'm trying to do is explain that yes, you can go out and you can investigate the paranormal, but you have to use equipment that you've done your research on the equipment, you've purchased the equipment, you've tested this equipment, you've tried everything that you can to debunk this equipment. Is there any other reason that this will be going off? Yes, this will be going off if I need to change my battery. It may cause it to go off more often. So I can have these two pieces of equipment in one room. This is the music box, 360 lights, motion sensor all the way around, and sound. So if this is saying this is a motion sensor activated, and these two are together and they're both going off at the same time, I would have to wonder why. I'd have to do more in-depth research into my footage, into what I've got recorded, in order for me to make a yes or no decision in either way. Now, another piece of equipment that would be motion censored, this one is called the Paratune, I believe. Yeah, Paratunes. This I purchased from the UK. Now this is known as a shadow box. Whoops, sorry. I don't know how to get that. I'm not be able to get that sun out of there. Try it like that. There we go. This is known as a shadow box. Sorry for the movement there and the noise. And this is also motion sensor. If something comes in front of it, you're going to see the lights. You can set it at different settings, so it'll light up faster. It'll give you different movement. Have I tried these pieces of equipment to see if they work? Do they work accurately? Would something actually have to be in front of it? Now, as you can see, this, I can hold this and hold it, and it's not going to go off. But the minute that you come close enough, you're going to see it activate. So is this piece of equipment actually doing what it's supposed to be doing? Absolutely. And this I got from the UK as well. Now this is known as the shadow box. Now, will this like randomly light up without anything going in front of it? Yes. If the batteries is going dead. And of course, like I said, get your equipment, do your research, do your testing on it. This one, it was very, very quick for me to realize that if I am in a dark room, that my IR camera will literally set this off. So it will look like it's lighting up. I'm going to see that same effect with an IR camera. So there's certain pieces of equipment that will react to just the IR camera, the night vision camera. So in order for you to determine what is or is not real paranormal, you really, really have to be an in-depth investigator. Check all of your equipment, try it out. Now, will an IR set this off? Absolutely not. But will it set this particular piece of equipment off every single time? Now, if it's just a regular camera on this, like you can see right now, it will not set it off. But if you have the infrared on your night vision, it will look like this is going off. So that would be a false reading, false positive. It's not what it looks like. But does this piece of equipment work by itself in a room if you have proper lighting on, a camera without night vision in the night, put you up a light, set you up a camera without night vision? Absolutely. Then if something would come in front of this, it's going to be accurate. So to see people just using one piece of equipment and maybe not even understanding what it is. What is this piece of equipment? How does it work? You know, it's you need to be careful, because something as simple as buying pieces of equipment like this and just going out and saying, I'm going to go ghost hunting with my friends and we're going to go out and see if we can find any ghosts. If you are mentally opening your mind up to go out and look for spirits, you are opening a door, and it can be a very dangerous door. And once that door is opened, you cannot close it. Now, am I sending out hate? No, not at all. I'm trying to send out information so that people understand that the paranormal is not something to be taken lightly. And if you open doors, sometimes you're going to need help, and I mean professional help, when your life becomes affected by the doors that you opened. Do you really want to do that to yourself, to your family? I advise caution. You really need to know what's happening. You really need to know what you're dealing with. And then you have to accept responsibility for what you are putting out. Because if you're putting it out there on a platform, on an app for people to see it, they're going to review it. So do you want criticism for what you're putting out there? Or do you want people to say, I did not understand this? You know, maybe you can help me understand it. Or maybe I need to research it farther before I engage in such behaviors. That's my personal opinion. Again, I smoke. So if you're going to be offended, you might want to leave the room. So if there's anyone here that wants to do questions and answers, we will go ahead and start questions and answers. I'm going to put starting, so if you have any questions, you can go ahead and start asking questions. And I'll try to answer your questions. Again, I don't know everything. I will never say that I know everything about the paranormal. Well, I say that yes, I have for 42 years been looking for answers because of my tragedy, the tragedy that happened in my life, that happened to me personally. So if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. Again, please be respectful. What do I feel is the best way to approach the paranormal? Number one, if you have something happening in your life and you do not understand it, and you feel that it is possibly paranormal, there's nothing wrong with you going out and asking for help, for researching, for looking for answers. That's why I'm here, because I was looking for answers. If you are going to explore the paranormal, please make sure that you, number one, you know what you're getting yourself into. Number two, that you always protect yourself. Make sure that you say a prayer for protection. If you're just going out to investigate the paranormal, like I do, to find answers, I always try to prepare myself before I go out. I ask for prayer. I try to cleanse myself with sage, and I ask that, nothing evil will come around me. But just because you ask for all these things, trust me, that doesn't mean that's not going to happen. It can happen. So be careful. Protect yourself. Know what you're getting into. And I never go alone unless it's daytime. I did go to a mound, a Indian mound here locally, and it was a mound, and then they built a graveyard around it. And it was during the day, and I went up on the mound, and it's called the Earthworks. I did a small video. So if it's something like that, I don't mind going alone. But when I go out to investigate something that is rumored, and I will say rumored, to be haunted, when I do that by myself, no. Number one, if I have someone else with me, then that's another person recording, mentally recording everything that's happening, verbally recording everything that's happening. They're right there with me. They're witnessing it. And then when we're going over the evidence, they're reviewing that evidence. So that gives you more of a validation. And the person that I'm taking with me, I do not want them to be the type of person that's going to believe that every bump and bang in the night is paranormal. I want a skeptic. My husband is a skeptic. And he will, if there's a bang or a creak, he will try everything he can to look at the structure of the home or the place that we're at. And, is it something structural? Is it airflow coming through? Is it an open window? Because when you're doing an investigation, anything like say, if I went to a penitentiary and there was broken windows that the wind and air could blow through, would that be a noise contamination? Absolutely. Could that cause me to think that I'm hearing something that I'm not? Absolutely. So, in order to do a proper investigation, you have to be very open minded. You have to look at everything that you can to debunk what evidence you have. And until you can completely outrule, you can no longer outrule it. There's no other explanation for it. Would I then say this is paranormal? I say it is possibly paranormal because at this point I'm not able to debunk it. Now, am I actually going to say that it is? Now, I have actually had things move in front of me that I have recorded, and there's no wind, there's no vibration, there's no logical explanation for why that moved. And I've tried everything I can to debunk it. Does that mean that it's paranormal? I will say, I really feel that possibly there was a spirit in this room that did that. Could it possibly be paranormal? Possibly. But is it absolutely paranormal? No. No. Because I still, beyond a doubt, have not proven it to myself. I want to prove it to myself. So, for everyone who's going into the paranormal field, it would be a good idea if you have someone that has been in the paranormal field that's experienced, that can maybe help you and guide you through the process, help you to understand what equipment would be legitimate in a controlled paranormal investigation. And again, controlled means no noise pollution. You have everything set up so that you have made absolutely and positively sure that by no means can what you collect as evidence be disregarded as noise pollution. Could it have been people walking by on the street if you're in a facility? Absolutely. Would that bleed in and sound like voices that maybe are like a low whispered voice? Absolutely. So you have to look at your whole entire surroundings. What is around you? What can actually cause any type of noise pollution? The paranormal, what seems like the paranormal, 9 times out of 10 is absolutely not paranormal. It's just not. Now, that one time when it is, that is unsettling. You try to help people and yourself, get answers. Can you explain why it happened or why it is happening? Sometimes, no, you can't. Does that mean that someone is trying to get your attention? Sometimes, yes. There could be a spirit there that is trying to get your attention. And what do they want? Why are they trying to get your attention? And my question is, why are they still here? Why didn't they move on? Why didn't they go somewhere beyond where they're at? And that's one of my number one questions. Why? Why are you here? Why didn't you go somewhere else? So, in my opinion, this is my own personal opinion, my own personal experience. Sorry, my puppy just bumped my table. I have my laptop on a little table. In my personal experience and research, a lot of the paranormal is explainable, what people consider paranormal. If you have the right equipment, if you have the right team of people that are in there doing a controlled investigation, paranormal investigation, 9 times out of 10, you can explain this away. It's not actually paranormal. That, you can explain it away. Does that mean that every time that you can explain it? No. No. Now, can you get hurt by the paranormal? You absolutely positively can. You can unintentionally bring harm to yourself, to your family. Something can attach to you and follow you home. So you have to ask yourself, if I'm going to be messing with the paranormal, do I have children at home? Do I have family at home, loved ones at home? Do I want to expose them to this? Because you're not only exposing yourself, but you're exposing the people around you. So that's very, very important for you to know, first of all, and to remember. So, but anyway, I've been on here for about an hour, and hopefully I'll get reviews on this. People that are using spirit boxes might want to say, what does this woman know? And why is she coming on here saying these things? Well, it's because I've been experiencing the paranormal for 42 years, and I have been doing investigations, research, because of a tragedy that happened to me in my life. It happened to me personally. And like I said before, I am very thankful. I had a great doctor. His staff was amazing. And they worked very, very hard to save my life. And unfortunately, they lost me twice on the table before saving my life and bringing me through it. And then my life changed. And it was not something I wanted. Do I wish that would have never, ever happened to me? Every day. Every day. Do I experience the paranormal every single day because of what happened to me? No. No. I can have normal days and absolutely nothing happens. I can go months and nothing happens. And then I can, when I least expect it, experience the paranormal. So this is something that I have no control over. It's something that I wish never would have happened to me. However, I have to live with it. I've been living with it for 42 years. I'm hoping that my experiences, my research, my little videos before I get too old and I can't actually put something out for someone that may have went through what I went through and may be looking for answers. That's why I'm putting this out. So I hope that if this video finds you long after I'm gone, that it has helped you and that you do understand you're not alone, that I understand there are many people that go through the same experience and you can find answers. Just continue to research. And just because you feel like you stand out in a room, don't let yourself be like that. You can still have a very happy life. And you can learn to live with and to deal with your paranormal experiences that are happening around you. And maybe someday you'll be able to help others. Use it to help others. And then with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and end today. But I hope that I brought some awareness to what I'm seeing and what I don't want to see. And it's, to me, it's sad. It's heartbreaking. Please, if there's an active, open investigation of any missing person, I don't care if it's a child or an adult, please, please, I beg you, understand that there is parents and loved ones that are holding out hope. And if you come on using a spirit box saying you're talking to their loved one's spirit, what are you saying to that family, to those loved ones? Don't take their hope away. Please don't do that. And as always, I will see you the next time. Be kind to one another. And I'm sending out some light and some love today. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to me. If I can help you, I will. I will try. So I hope this has been educational. And until next time, I want to just say be careful. The paranormal is real. And if you open certain doors, even unintentionally, you can be asking for a very, very terrifying experience. So be careful. Approach the paranormal with caution. Always. Till next time, I'll see you on the next one. And you enjoy your weekend. And goodbye.